What's up, survivors? All right, guys, so I got a little bit of a treat episode here for you guys. I'm going to try to help out some people with Gill making tips. Now, there's plenty of people out there that put out guides about Gill making, but I think a lot of them miss the underlining point of getting these videos out. It's not the best method, it's the most effective and efficient ways to just casually go about it. And what I mean about that is we're just going to talk about a few key points here. I'm going to try to cover about the 3 to 4 methods that I myself, as well as my wife and others, have used over the years. These methods are pretty much tried and true, and they should never change. They've been the methods that most people will go to for endgame as well as for early game, and these methods can work as pretty much any level. And these methods will also work for non-crafters and gatherers. So if you're not all of them, some of them are going to be more crafting and gathering, but some of them will be more for battle classes. For you people out there that just don't care about doing crafting or gathering, there will be a few in here for that as well too. So the first thing that I want to talk about is tome material. Alright guys, so for tome material, you're going to need to be in the current endgame hub zone that you get your endgame gear from and spend your tomes. So currently, for as of like right now, for the 6.0 X expansion, basically, that's Razet Han. So when you're in Razet Han, you're going to come to the NPC right here. This is the Tombstone Exchanger. Okay, and when you get to them, you're going to go right here. Now these tomes are constantly changing, so like this tome in like 4 to 6 weeks is going to be a different tome, and then the prices will go up. So right now they're at half price. So normally this is like 40 to 60, and these are 10, like somewhere between 20 and 30. And I've even seen them go as high as like 100 to 120, depending on the expansion and what's being put up on the market. So what you're going to do is you're just going to come in here, and if you've got an excess amount of tomes, you're just going to come in here and you're going to look at these things. You're going to double check the market, and usually it's going to be these ones right here, the higher end ones. Sometimes these lower end ones will sell too, but I would focus on these ones right here, and you're just going to spend your tomes. You're just going to buy a couple of these, or 10, 20, 99, whatever you feel is comfortable. And you're just going to take these tomes, put them up on the market. Well, take the material you buy with the tomes, put them up on the market, and sell them. And this is pretty much the method people have been using for many, many years. Tome Exchange came out in early 2.0, but it was very limited on the kind of stuff you could put up. And over the years, sometimes the tomes will, I remember, I think during like 3.0 or 4.0, it wasn't really that great anymore, and then during 5.0 and now 6.0, it kind of became more liable again. So it shifts from patch to patch, to expansion, so just always keep an eye on these types of things. If you have extra tomes and you're not using them for like your relic weapon or something, or upgrading old jobs, so they at least have up-to-date gear, you can spend your extra overflow tomes on these items and then sell them on the market board. And that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully that helps you guys out, at least with the tome portion of this. And let's move on to the next one. All right, guys, so the next thing we're going to talk about is job quest items for crafting turn-ins specifically. So this is more for if you're a crafter and you're just looking to make some casual money on the side, and you're trying to figure out a good method to do that. Well, one of the methods you can do is you can come up to any market board that pretty much looks like this. You can find it in pretty much most of the starting city-states, as well as a lot of the other city-states that you will explore and unlock as you progress through the game. But as you're doing this, you will have items that you have to turn in. You have to trade in for your crafting quests, and they range anywhere from as low as level 5 as all the way up to like level 85 or even 90. And respectively, I think it was like the 80 to 90s, and I think some of the 70 to 80 ones might actually be different now, but the earlier levels, they give you the ability to buy high quality stuff, or if you're doing levy quests or leave quests, you can take those leave quests and trade those in for high quality items. Well, some people will go to the market board and they will buy them. So you can go up to a market board and buy those items. So if you're looking to make some money as a crafter, you can always look up online or go to any leave quests and see what the leave quest turn-ins are for, you know, a respective class. And you can make those items, put them up on the market board, and make some easy money off of crafters that are leveling through their job quests or using leave quests to level up as well. So hopefully this is another little tip to help you. Again, this is a tried and true one that probably will never change unless they come out with an all new system and completely scrap the old one, which I don't see that happening anytime soon. All right. And that's for this tip. All right, guys, for the next tip, we are going to cover housing items. Now, this one is probably like the most, I don't even know what the word to use. Like, I honestly, this should have been number one on the list, in my opinion. Housing items have always been the go-to method for a lot of crafters because housing is always going to be a thing. You can go to pretty much any server, any data center, and I probably should have started over here though, but I'm going to run over here real fast to the main aetheryte crystal here in Kugane, and I'm going to show you guys so when you come up to A1, you can go to residential district aetherytes and you go to the tab, and as you can see here, make it a little bigger for you guys, there are tons of houses, and every single city state, not every single city state, but like every single there's like 4. So there's Kugane, there's Ishgard, there's Gridania, Limsa, Laminsa, and Ul'dah all have their own housing wards like this. They all have 30 wards with a main and a sub side. So there's 120 houses. Sorry, there's 60 houses in each ward, so you can see here. And then you also have to remember on your data center, people from other servers can come to your server and buy stuff too. So you also have to consider that there are going to be tons of other servers as well. So if you open this up as well, can't do it here because you got to be in one of the 3 major city states to do it. But anyways, so you get the idea here. Housing is going to be like crazy. There's literally thousands of housing items in the game, and there's always going to be a demand for new housing items, people redoing their house or people that are role playing, and they're constantly changing it. You got you got your role players and your ER role players that are just going to be constantly redoing stuff and upgrading and doing events. So there's always a demand for new housing stuff on the market. So get out there, craft tons of housing stuff, look at what looks popular. I would suggest doing things like the actual exterior things like windows, doors, fences, walls, things like that, because those are always in high demand. Come to a market board here real quick. As you can see, there's the housing market. So you can go in here. These are all the different types of housing for small, mediums, and larges. There's tons of them. You get to here, you got your interior stuff, you got all your walls, your floors. I mean, you're getting the idea. Whoop, wrong button. I wanted to go to paintings. Paintings, pages of those. Outside stuff. This is always a big one because people love to decorate the outside of their house. Pages and pages of outside stuff that people can put down. You cannot go wrong. So if you want to make money and you want to do housing, I recommend it. It's the tried and true way. It'll never change. All right, guys. So for the last tip for today, I think we're going to cover is the one that I personally like to do, which is potions and food crafting. Now, potions and food crafting, it may not be the most effective way, but it is definitely in demand. I wouldn't say high demand, but to some extent it's in demand. It changes from patch to patch. But what I mean by potion and food making is end game specifically. So you kind of have to already be like top tier end game culinarian and alchemist to pull this off. But what you're going to do is you're just going to look at what the most current raid food is and raid potions, and you're going to basically you're going to go out, you're going to get the resources for the recipes that are the most commonly needed. You know, usually you're looking at things like, you know, your crafter food that increases CP and control, your gathering food that increases, you know, your GP and your gathering rate. And then of course you've got your raid food for your raiders. That's going to give them things like, you know, determination and crit rate and skill speed and stuff like that, as well as potions that, you know, potions of strength, potions of dexterity and things like those that are like the end game ones. So those are going to be kind of the ones that you're going to want to go out there and you're going to want to get done. It's constantly changing from patch to patch, so every 3 to 5 months there's always going to be new raid food, new potions, new crafting food. So, you know, showing you in this video, you know, the current one really won't do it justice because it's going to change in 2 months anyways, because in October we get 6.5 because that's when I'm making this video, and it's going to change, and then it's going to stay that way for about 5 to 6 months, and then we're going to have 7.0 coming out in summertime, and it's going to completely change again. And then we're going to have all new housing items, and we're going to have all new potions and all new tome items. So the reason why these 4 methods I feel like that are the most tried and true methods of making money in the game is because they always stay the same. It doesn't matter if it was 2.0 or if it's 7.0. These are going to be the methods that a lot of people go to. Now, obviously, once you have a new expansion pack, and this is where I'm going to touch into new expansion packs. When a new expansion drops, that opens the floodgate for money to be made, because what ends up happening is you're going to have tons of new resources in the game that people are going to be need. Like crafters are not going to want to spend the time to go and gather these new resources that are needed in order to make all these new recipes to be able to start selling on the market board, because that's what they do. So when a new expansion drops, that is the 5th, and this is my bonus one for you guys. Every new expansion is a gatherer's money making time. Like if you are a gatherer that doesn't like to craft, or if you're a battle class that usually makes money off of tome items or FC items and stuff like that, if you have your gatherer leveled, go gather. You can make so much money at the beginning of an expansion. Now, it doesn't stay high for long, but there's always going to be a demand for those new resources for at least a couple of months. So it's a really good time to have your gatherers leveled up and then start working on those casually as you're moving into the new expansion, so you can bring in money from selling all those new resources. So that is my 5th bonus tip for you guys. It's not one that really stays very liable long term, but anytime there's a new expansion, you can make so much money as a gatherer. And I guess I did kind of forget about this. I guess 2 bonus tips. Maps. Get out there and do maps. Try to do them as much as you can. Get together a 3-man team, a 4-man team of friends, and just do maps every week. One day, you guys all knock out 2 or 3 maps a piece. If you get really lucky and you get those really rare drops that you can get from those maps, you can make a ton of money. Maps will always be, again, another method that's tried and true. So if you're trying to make money, these are going to be like my 6 tips, I guess, because I was originally going to only do 4 with a bonus, but I guess I forgot about maps. And maps have always been something that are, ever since like 3.2, 3.3, have always been something in the game that, you know, that people see, but they don't really do unless they understand it. The maps, they get better and better. So once you get up into the, you know, the deeper dungeons and stuff like that, and I can put together a separate guide that shows the maps and how they work, and I'll do that possibly to kind of like showcase it a little bit at some point. But do your maps, especially your 8-man maps with a party. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hopefully this little guide helped you guys out with money making tips in the game. Again, these are all going to be tried and true methods that will probably never really change. They don't basically show you how to make money. They're just methods of making money. And I believe anything beyond that is kind of a waste of time to discuss because honestly, the methods are constantly changing. on what you need to craft and what you need to gather and what you need to farm, that really you just need to get a general idea. So if you're doing these things, you should never have a problem making money in the game. All right, guys, so I'm gonna let you guys go here. Thanks for watching as always. Let me know down below what you guys think. Do you guys use any of these methods, and what other methods have you guys used that maybe you think have been tried and true for years as well? I mean, in my 11 years playing, most of these have always been my go-to one, especially raid food. I love doing endgame food. But anyways, take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.